Hi Founder fans, Jason here, and today's founder is Eliezer McComb, a little-known founder from Delaware whose story could tell us a lot about what was going on in the Continental Congress just as the Revolutionary War was concluding. So, McComb was from Delaware, became an early leader, was an early member of the Committee of Correspondence, and then when the actual war broke out, Eliezer signs up with the local militia and is elected a captain. He spends 3 years at war before he is chosen to sit on the Governor's Council, which is essentially like what we would think of as a cabinet today. McComb then goes on to, after the war ends in 1783, be sent to the Continental Congress, of course representing Delaware. While he's at the Continental Congress, nothing happens. He just kind of sits there. Now, the reason for this is after the war, after Yorktown and the actual war was all but over, most of the delegates went home to their separate states, and they were replaced by less powerful members of their local state governments, McComb being one of these people. Unfortunately, the Continental Congress just couldn't get a quorum together. They needed at least someone from every state to come so they could ratify this Treaty of Paris that was supposed to end the war and was literally just sitting on their desk. Now, eventually, in early 1784, enough people show up and they can vote and achieve a quorum. 3 days later, McComb leaves. He goes right home because he had been sitting around doing nothing for quite some time. The Continental Congress would literally show up in the morning, meet for the day, see if they had a quorum, not have a quorum, and adjourn and go home. That's pretty much how they did every single day. So 3 days after the ratification of the Treaty of Paris, McComb goes home, which leaves the Continental Congress without a quorum again, and therefore nothing else starts happening once again. This is one of the main reasons that the call for the United States Constitution is eventually made, because there was nothing to compel the delegates to the Continental Congress to actually come be delegates to the Continental Congress. Now, I want to note, we can't just blame McComb for this. This was lots, tens, if not 100 people could be blamed together collectively for this issue, but it was an issue that needed to be resolved. As for McComb, he goes back to Delaware, serves in the local government a little bit, is eventually chosen as the state's auditor for accounts, which is kind of like a comptroller. He also was put on commissions to go discuss treaties with Native Americans and to discuss building canals between Delaware and other states. Finally, he's eventually takes over as president of the Bank of Delaware. After the United States Constitution was created, each state did come up with their own bank. Even before the Constitution, many states were coming out with their own banks. McComb becomes president of Delaware's bank. Unfortunately, he ends up passing away at a fairly young age in 1798 when a bout of yellow fever overtook Wilmington, where he lived, and he is one of the many people who succumbed to that. This is the story of a pretty random founder, Eliezer McComb. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, definitely hit like so more people can find out about the channel. If you're new here, subscribe because I put out videos about the American Revolution 7 days a week.